All right, let me tell you something that genuinely changed how my weeks feel. There was a time when I was busy all the time, but somehow always behind. Assignments, deadlines, messages, tabs open everywhere. I'd sit down to be productive, and 3 hours later, I'd be exhausted with barely anything to show for it. And then I stumbled onto one thought, just one. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it saves me hours every single week. Let me explain. The problem no one talks about. Most of us don't waste time because we're lazy. We waste time because we're confused. Confused about what actually matters, what needs to be done now, and what can wait. So our brain does what it always does under pressure. It jumps from task to task, from app to app. That constant switching, it fries your focus. And every switch costs your brain energy. That's why you feel tired before you even start. I used to open my laptop to study, then remember an email, then check a message, then quickly look something up, then suddenly it's been 40 minutes. And I'd think, why am I like this? Here's the truth. Your brain hates unclear work. It loves escape. Now, here's where the shift happens, because the solution isn't better planning. It's one thought you repeat before you start anything. Here it is. What is the smallest action that actually moves this forward? That's it. Not, how do I finish everything? Not, how do I do this perfectly? Just, what's the smallest forward move? This thought changes how your brain approaches work. Big tasks create resistance. Small actions create momentum. When you ask that question, your brain relaxes because suddenly the task feels doable, safe, and clear. And clarity equals speed. You stop overthinking. You stop stalling. You start moving. Let's say you have to study. Old approach, I need to study for hours. Your brain? Nope. New approach, what's the smallest action that moves this forward? Answer, open the notes, highlight one concept, write one question. That's it. And once you start, you usually keep going. Not always, but often enough to matter. This part is important. Every time you complete a small action, your brain releases a tiny reward signal. That reinforces focus circuits. Do this consistently, and those circuits get stronger. That's how you increase functional brain volume. More efficient pathways, less wasted effort, faster starting. You're literally training your brain to work smarter. But here's the mistake that ruins this for most people. They still try to do too much at once. Let's fix that. Step 1. Define forward. Before you start working, ask, what does forward actually mean here? Not perfect, not finished, just forward. Examples, one paragraph written, one problem attempted, one slide outlined. If you don't define forward, your brain fills the gap with anxiety, and anxiety kills efficiency. Step 2, limit your target. Only aim for one forward action at a time, not 5, not everything. Multitasking feels productive, but it's slow. Single focus builds depth. Depth builds speed. This is how you avoid burnout and still get more done. When I stopped trying to have productive days and started aiming for productive moments, my weeks felt lighter. Less stress, more progress, better sleep. That matters. Step 3. Use it when you feel stuck. This thought works best when your brain says, I don't want to. That resistance is a signal. It means the task feels too big. So pause, ask the question again. What's the smallest action that moves this forward? Then do it badly. Bad starts are powerful. Now, here's the part nobody tells you. This thought doesn't just save time, it saves mental energy. Why your brain feels less tired? Decision fatigue is real. Every unnecessary decision drains you. When you always know the next tiny step, you stop negotiating with yourself. No debates, no drama, just movement. That's why disciplined people look calm. Their brains are trained for clarity. Step 4. End early on purpose. This sounds backwards, but hear me out. Sometimes stop after the small action. Why? Because your brain remembers how work felt. If it felt manageable, starting tomorrow is easier. That consistency builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum saves hours. Before any task, ask 1. Ask the question. 2. Define forward. 3. Take the smallest action. 4. Stop if needed. 5. Repeat tomorrow. That's the system. Simple, human, effective. You don't need longer days. You don't need insane discipline. You don't need to hustle harder. You need clarity. One good thought, used consistently, can change how your entire week feels. Try this tonight. Just one task, one small forward move. Let momentum handle the rest. Let's level up together. Your time matters, and now you know how to protect it.